Justin Hawkins writes again. Good day to you. It is I, Justin Hawkins. This is Justin Hawkins Rides Again, my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and sign up for the alerts. Today, I'm going to be wading in on something that's very difficult to wade in upon without showing your hand politically or expressing something that's going to upset somebody. You know, but that's kind of what we all do, isn't it? Just by living. So let's talk about what happened with Neil Young versus Spotify versus Joe Rogan. A little bit of background first. Neil Young announced on Wednesday that he was demanding the company drop his music, writing that Spotify has recently become a very damaging force via its public misinformation and lies about COVID. And he was referring to Joe Rogan's podcast. Joe Rogan's deal with Spotify for his podcast is estimated to be worth more than $100 million. And the number one most listened to podcast on Spotify in 2021. I can already tell you how that's going to go. For Spotify investors, the concern is that the artist exodus could snowball in the coming days and drive a material number of customer cancellations. Hashtags cancel Spotify, delete Spotify, and buy Spotify were trending on social media. But, you know, if you issue an ultimatum like that to a company like Spotify, who have demonstrated nothing but was something just a little bit above contempt for musical artists, and just, you know, there's been a lot of controversy about the measly royalty rates that they pay on this stuff, and how all their, I mean, I remember this has been, people have been talking about Spotify and the way they actually treat artists for years, haven't they? I think it's changing a little bit. They're gradually learning from things like this, really. When people finally sort of speak out, they do sort of yield to it. But it says here, now Joni Mitchell has joined Neil Young in removing her music from Spotify in protest at it hosting a popular anti-vax podcast. I didn't even realise that Joe Rogan's thing was an anti-vax podcast. I've never actually watched it or listened to it before. I know people that do, and the people that do, I wouldn't describe them as anti-vaxxers, really. I think there's probably quite a broad cross section of, even moderates probably watch it because it's, you know, it's entertainment. All of it's entertainment. This is entertainment. That's entertainment. Neil Young is entertainment. But when you sort of wade in on a political issue like that, I think the only thing that is going to, well, what will happen is imagine if I went to Spotify and said, yes, it's me, Justin from the Darkness. I'm fucking livid about the things that you're doing over there. That podcast is saying things about vaccines and stuff, which is, I don't know, it's a irresponsible mishandling of vital information that could save lives, and this is actually going to make people ill and possibly even kill them. You need to take that thing down, or you take all the Darkness's music, all of my solo things, anything that I have the right to ask you to take down, you take it down, and you take it down now. And they'll be like, yes, Mr. Hawkins, we're taking it down now. Thanks a lot for your call, like that. And that's more or less what they said to Neil Young, actually. They said, Spotify said, it regretted Young's decision, but hoped to welcome him back soon. I mean, that's as much of a fuck you as you can actually have, I think. That's just really, like, not even engaging with the reasoning. I mean, I'm sort of stuck with Spotify a little bit. I mean, not as an artist, I mean, as a consumer, really, because I have a speaker system that's fully seamlessly integrated with it. So I do listen to Neil Young sometimes as well. Like, what am I going to do now? Deezer? Shall I do Deezer? Is that any better? Is Tidal any better? Is Amazon any better? I mean, Amazon have swooped in. Apparently, he's made a partnership with Amazon, giving new customers to Amazon Music Unlimited 4 months free of the premium streamer. And Amazon, you can't really. I mean, there's a lot of that stuff about the not human rights atrocities, but the way they treat their staff and making them wear grown-up nappies while they're so that they can work longer shifts over Christmas. So you hear things like that, don't you? And yet, I suppose that for Neil Young and for Joni Mitchell, I think they both had polio, didn't they, as children? So I think this question of vaccines and, peddling information that might not be accurate and make people not want to have vaccines is probably quite close to your heart, when you would have probably benefited from having a polio vaccine had they been available during their childhood. It's obviously a matter that's close to their hearts. But all of these companies are going to have stuff like that, skeletons like that in their closet. And it really is like, you might say, oh, it's evil, or they only care about money. It's like, well, hello. Hello? This is Spotify. These are the ones where you people had to sort of beg them for more royalties while they're driving around in their Bentleys and so on. Probably, I don't know what they drive. Also, I don't care. I just want to know what the alternative is from a consumer's point of view. What do we do now? Deezer? Use the comment section, please, to educate me. What's the best one of the streaming platform alternatives if it's not Spotify? Young said he felt better for leaving Spotify. He said, private companies have the right to choose what they profit from, just as I can choose not to have my music support a platform that disseminates harmful information. Good for him then. I'm glad he's found a home for his stuff. I mean, it's a bit different for, that's a catalogue that will always thrive in whichever format you do it in. He's a household name. He's written some of the most amazing songs over the years, and if you have to go somewhere else to listen to them, I suppose you will. Most people from his sort of core fan base, though, I think, are probably going to be the type that consume physical copy albums. So I don't know how much impact it would have, unless it inspires a mass walkout of artists, which I suppose is what they're worried about, isn't it? Anyway, Joni Mitchell has 3.7 million monthly listeners. Neil Young has 6.2. How many does Joe Rogan have? Is it 11 million? Something like that. So even those two together, on balance, I think Spotify have probably made the right business call, really. It's just that anything when they say, like, we have a policy against this or policy against that, or we don't like it when people say things like that because it's irresponsible, all of that goes out the window when there's money on the table that could quite easily be sort of siphoned into the pocket. You just have to do this motion here and just pull it open. That's what they're doing. They'll take whichever thing makes them the most money. But Spotify's market capitalization fell by about 2.1 billion over a 3-day span following this walkout. So that's actually, well, it is making an impact, isn't it? I thought this story was showing us that musicians don't matter. Nobody cares what we do. But actually, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if everybody does the same thing, maybe real change can be affected. Affected. No, not affected. Real change. Wow. So anyway, if you feel strongly about that, you know what to do. Follow Neil Young's lead. I admire him. That's a man who's passionate and is prepared to stand up and go elsewhere in the name of, the truth? I don't know. Who knows anymore? Justin Hawkins writes again. Good for you, Neil Young. Don't forget, like, subscribe, sign up for the alerts, and watch one of these two videos. Lots of love to you. Adieu.